Greetings, faculty. I want to take a few minutes this morning to speak to you about shared governance at UVU and also to speak a little bit to the theme of this year's faculty convocation. My name is Hillary Hungerford, and I am the new Faculty Senate President at UVU. I am faculty in the Department of Earth Science. I'm a geographer by training, and most of my work is on community adaptation to environmental change. I teach a wide variety of classes across the physical and social sciences. I grew up in Denver, earned my PhD at the University of Kansas, and was faculty at South Dakota State University before joining UVU in 2015. I live in Orem, am an heirloom tomato hobbyist, a novice banjo player, a mom, a partner, a teacher, a worrier, a listener, and an advocate. You are seeing me today as my students did last year, from the small corner of my home that I made into an office and classroom. You'll probably see my dog at some point, and hopefully my kids are occupied enough outside for a few minutes you may not see them. This past year has been really challenging, and we're starting a year that will present its own difficulties. I am worried about the COVID-19 pandemic and its effect on us, our students, and our communities. The pandemic has changed the face of higher education in many ways. We may never be the same. Some of those changes are good, and many of those changes present huge challenges. Perhaps these challenges have made you want to get more involved in faculty matters at UVU. So I want to take the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about what we do as Faculty Senate at UVU. Also, I'll be posting regular updates from Faculty Senate here on this YouTube page, so you are welcome to subscribe for updates. My predecessor, Dr. Ann Arndt Bunz, made a video about how shared governance works at UVU, which I'll link below. The video is very informative and describes the details of the shared governance model in which UVU operates. In brief, Faculty Senate conveys to the university community, including the Board of Trustees, the official opinion and positions of faculty. We do this in a number of ways, including resolutions, votes on specific issues, and perhaps most importantly, through policy work. A key part of our work in Faculty Senate is working on policies related to faculty, such as annual reviews and RTP processes, and also to comment on any other policy revision that comes through other university entities. These policies can be very important for faculty. Last year, for example, we were successful in advocating for policy change so that faculty members can have support persons at any and all stages of hearing processes so that no faculty must endure these situations alone. This was a huge win for faculty. As a public institution, we are bound to working within the laws set by the state of Utah, such as the current statute prohibiting mandates for specific COVID-19 mitigation efforts like vaccines and masks. In terms of representation, each department has a representative on Faculty Senate, and your senator is responsible for sharing information with your department. That said, our agendas and minutes can be found on the Faculty Senate website, and you're welcome to contact me at any time with questions or concerns. I would be glad to come to any department meeting, have a Teams call, or meet with you on campus. I'm here to represent our voices in the spaces where it matters, and I humbly thank you all for trusting me with this work. I want to turn now to speak on the theme of this year's convocation, Everything and Us. A convocation is a call to come together, an assembly of a group of people for a particular focus. We find ourselves coming together at the start of a new school year, still working in these peculiar pandemic conditions, perhaps not feeling like we are all in this together. If we were in a room together, I may have asked you to look around to see what a collection of faculty we are, from all different places and in all different seasons of life. We have differences in the way we interact with colleagues in the many facets of our identities and our disciplines and the methods we use to answer the big questions, differences in our interests, opinions, politics, and religions. And that is exactly what makes this coming together so beautiful, valuing these differences that we bring to the group. We are all united around a common goal at UVU to educate every student for success in work and life through excellence in engaged teaching, services, and scholarship. We often hear this expressed by what President Tuminas has said, that UVU is a place for you. Now, as a geographer, my heart melts when we talk about place. Part of my dissertation was all about place, the relationality that is inherent in place, and how that can materialize into uneven access. It is relationships, connections, and intersections that make places different than just spaces or points on a map. Places are tangible and material, things we can measure, model, and predict. At the same time, places are perceived and experienced, and these perceptions and experiences vary widely between people and groups. For example, we know that a dark parking lot or train station is experienced differently by men and women, or differently than those in the majority and those not. Places have meaning and feeling, and places matter. UVU is a place for you. But does it always feel like that? This is another great aspect of using a framework of place, because it demands examination of relationships, intersections, connections, and meanings, and asks us to create new possibilities and expanded futures. So what are some questions we might think about to uncover some of these relationships and meanings that this place holds? Here are some ideas. How do we value the physical environment of this place? How are we making decisions about our environment, the air, the water, the soil, so they can have an opportunity to thrive? How is the non-human world given exceptional care in our places? How are we responding to the challenges of climate change? As settlers on the land where the Timpanogos, Shoshone, and Ute thrived, what is our responsibility to and support of Indigenous communities? How can we make sure we are supporting our Indigenous faculty, students, and staff who are coming to work and to study in a place that could be seen as an institution of colonization? How can we make space in our policies to reflect the realities of faculty not in the majority? We know that people of color, especially women of color, often perform more service and more student mentoring in both formal and informal structures. How can this work be recognized and valued in the RTP process? How can we examine our current policies in place to advocate for more equity? How do we make space for diverse worldviews and faith traditions across campus? How do we not just accommodate, but celebrate these different worldviews and faiths of students, faculty, and staff? How are we making our classrooms and committees accessible to a wide range of people? How are we making space for mental health for faculty, staff, and students? How does our curriculum reflect our diverse student body and the changing demographics of Utah? How am I bringing more scholars and voices into my classroom? Does the language I use erase people and experiences? How are we making sure faculty from all parts of campus, from automotive to music, nursing to engineering, physics to philosophy, and business to aviation, how are we ensuring that all faculty are supported and afforded fair and transparent processes of tenure and promotion, and given the space to thrive? How can we make sure that faculty are given the knowledge and tools to know their rights and challenge any adverse decisions? How can we make the meritocracy inclusive? Now, thankfully, I'm not tasked with having answers to all of these questions. And even if I did have all of the answers, they would only be my answers, instead of having been cultivated by the mindful, intentional, collective whole. I hope everyone, regardless of their status, can disagree and be heard in their programs, departments, and colleges. We should disagree. We should hold different ideas, values, and perspectives and find ways to come together to make decisions that bring all of us forward. We owe it to our colleagues and our students to truly make UVU a place for you. Students look to us to be leaders, and what we do truly matters. We start a new semester facing massive health, environmental, political, and social challenges. Thankfully, we don't have to go it alone. We have each other. Thank you for making this place one of respect, diversity, and creativity. I look forward to this year and to working with all of you. Thank you. Have a great semester.